Hello, welcome to Sanction Export. We're going to be doing another episode on late night trains, and today we're going to be talking about Liverpool Football Club. So,
Sweet.
Omar, big Liverpool fan over here. So,
Yep.
The evolution of the last decade. How do you think it's gone?
I mean, it's just been incredible, to be honest. Like, to see where we've come from to now, it's just something I've not witnessed in my own lifetime. Like, obviously, we speak about all the history that our fans like to talk about and everything. We didn't get to see that, like my generation. That was like the 70s and 80s. I was born in 93. Like, I've not seen anything happen. Like, okay, yeah, I've seen Champions League. We did a treble in 2001, stuff like that. But definitely nowhere near the dominance that people like my dad and that speak about.
Right, yeah, well, back in the 80s of like John Barnes, then you had like Dalglish, Souness.
Yeah.
They're the only things we've heard of, not actually seen properly. We've seen highlights, but nothing much. How do you think this team now compares to some of them? Obviously, you've got a bit more of longevity to come into that.
Yeah.
But now, how do you think that could compare?
Again, it's tricky for me to say because at the end of the day, I've not watched those teams. I've only seen like clips. So I haven't seen like a whole season like I have with the current Liverpool crop. But definitely what I can see is that we've always had a drawback where we always talk about Bill Shankly.
Right,
and how he came into the club and he changed the idea and mentality of the team and the club right down to its core, to its foundations, to everyone that works in it. Jurgen Klopp applied a similar philosophy when he came in. So, in terms of teams, the teams that were dominant back then, there was always talking that we did a pass and play kind of football back then. Our team nowadays is a lot more energetic because of the way football's changed.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily have all the world's best players in each position. Okay, yes, we have Van Dijk, Alisson, Mane, Salah. But I mean, there's a lot of talk of Firmino out there being overrated, Jordan Henderson not being world class, Wijnaldum, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So coming back to, I say having an impact from, let's say, when you won the 2005 Champions League.
Yeah.
We didn't have the greatest team then, did you? And you somehow beat that
unbelievable
AC Milan team.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest impact, even from then to now, to get this team to where you are now? Because you've always been close, sometimes close to winning titles, but you've never had you never look back at that team and go, oh yeah, they probably should have won.
Yeah.
Never said that. So how do you think you got to this point? The coaches, players, something else? How have you got to this point?
For me, definitely, I think the biggest change and most impactful was the ownership. When we had George Gillett and Tom Hicks in, it was on par with what Newcastle were dealing with Mike Ashley. We had these owners who just came in, treated it like a business to a certain degree, but they almost forced Liverpool to bankruptcy. So it could have been bad. But yeah, like once we got them out, our owner John Henry, who came in part of the FSG group, funny enough, he follows a mentality that he follows owning teams not as a business but as a sports franchise. He owns a team in the MLB called the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
There's a famous movie actually called Moneyball, which is played on this film where
Brad Pitt in it.
Yeah, exactly. Where basically this manager was brought into this Oakland team, and rather than trying to sign the best players and so on and so forth, he brought this really smart mathematician in to find statistics that would boost the whole team up. So like he'd get working in like averages almost.
Yeah.
If you have all the best average players. Yeah. And it actually like worked well for that team. John Henry, who already owned Boston Red Sox, who were countless trophies, championships and so on and so forth, still wanted to bring this manager in because he could see what he can do to the sport and to coaching a team.
Yeah, we changed the dynamic of baseball really.
Exactly. So that's definitely for me the biggest change and the most impactful. Like yes, Jurgen Klopp coming in
they brought
was
Jurgen Klopp
massive.
in, so.
Yeah, and they chose him over Ancelotti at the time as well.
Yeah, going towards him then, how do you think? How well do you think he's done then? And how do you base him on previous Liverpool managers they've had? Let's say like Rafa Benitez, who also did a good job for you. Like,
I feel what Jurgen Klopp does is we've seen briefly from across the river in the Bundesliga that his time at Dortmund, he definitely instills some kind of like family.
He's a very good man manager.
Loyalty and like presence about himself, but like I don't think it's the man management as much. Like on the surface, the man management is what is shown and what is key.
On the outside, that's like the key one I can see from it.
But for me, I feel like that's something that you can do as a manager. Like when you do your coaching, you can decide to become a manager and you know how to do it. But with Jurgen Klopp, it just feels like this is just who he is. Like this is just him as a person. That's why it's so fluid and connects well.
It's just natural to him.
Exactly. Like, I mean, if you look at our team, I mean, before last season when we pushed City so close to the title, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Andy Robertson, Joe Gomez, Bobby Firmino, 5 of our starting 11, you wouldn't put in a world-class bracket.
No.
And yet we're smashing teams out of the park, gone almost undefeated, lost 1 game this season. Like, it's just incredible how much having like a father figure can do for players.
Yeah, you just got to hope it lasts, really.
Oh, mate.
As in, like, will this be when you win this? Because
I mean, we need what, 2?
We're going to win it.
25 points clear and all that. Yeah.
Your favourite trophy?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd be stupid to say it hasn't been the trophy I've been wanting, as it will be with all the other Liverpool fans. Like, it's 30 years.
You more wanted it because of the amount of stick you've got for it.
Yeah, I mean, I will be honest here that I was truly never one of the people that said next year is our year.
I think I've heard you say it a couple of times.
Yeah, look, back when I was like 13, okay, but like when I've matured and I generally, the last time I ever said it, not next year is our year, but we're going to win it, was in 2013-14. And I didn't say the whole season I said we're not going to win it. But I remember I was on holiday in Japan, in Tokyo, and we were playing Man City at home, where we won 3-2. Coutinho scored that last minute. After that game, I bought into it. I was like, we're going to win it. And then you see what happens. Like, it's just...
just doesn't want to believe.
In it, this stumbling block that's always seemed to be some kind of stigma for Liverpool and its fans is just something that can finally be broken free. And to be honest, I mean, no one ever says it to me apart from mainly United fans because of the rivalry that there is there.
I mean, it's because I think most people say it because it's easy to wind Liverpool fans up.
Yeah.
So the more they get wound up, the more that people do it, and that's why it's been so jumped on.
Yeah, that's true.
You're sort of your own enemy in that one.
100%. But that's what comes with the territory, man. Like when you have a team that has the history and the book that can talk all this talk it had in the past, when you suddenly fade away for so long, you're gonna get attacked on that.
Of course you are.
Like that's what's happening with United now. After their last trophy with Sir Alex, when Sir Alex retired, they're not the same team anymore.
No.
So everyone attacks United on, without Sir Alex, I mean, look, you're nothing. And it's one of those, even though they've got all this money linked with every fucking world-class player every season.
Well, they're going to have to go through, learn from what you did, because you had all this money and you had all this history and you...
But it takes time, though. This is the thing, though. It took 5 years for Klopp to bring us to where we are.
I mean, look, I think you more got it wrong than took time, because you were good at keeping your players. Look, with Steven Gerrard, I think he got you to this point now because the way that he was so loyal showed that this is a club to be at.
For sure. I mean, like, he definitely had his presence, and that's why we were always able to stick within touching distance. But we were never a team that were up there. Like, the closest team I saw... You
did that stint, didn't you, where I think mid-2000s, the mid-2010s to 2020s, you were sort of like not even getting in the Europa League at some point. And
it was ridiculous.
Like, what's going on?
Like, we had one team at one point, 2008.
As me, as a Spurs fan, that boosted us into where we are now, because the way that you were slacking, we were then to manipulate, capitalise on you,
exactly,
to get into that spot. So,
like, that's the thing. Like 2008, for sure. But yeah, like you said, like 2008, 2009 was the last one I really remember, where like we had a team. We had Pepe Reina, we had Arbeloa, We had Jamie Carragher in centre half, midfield three of Gerrard, Alonso, Mascherano, Torres up top, Dirk Kuyt, an absolute workhorse engine on the wing. Like, I love that guy. But then all of a sudden we faded, like players left, and then I ended up seeing the team with like Charlie Adams, Stuart Downing, John Joe Shelby, Andy Carroll, oh mate, David Ngog, Martin Skirtle, Simon Mignolet.
And then Martin Skirtle was there for so long.
This is the thing. That's what's made me so gassed about it now. I've not, in my lifespan anyway, I have not seen any team that, like Liverpool, so say like United, Tottenham, Chelsea, or even Arsenal, no one has dropped as far as we dropped. Like, that was massive.
I think, like, what happens now?
Now,
Personally, I think you have one of the best starting 11s in the league, but I don't think you have the best squad at all.
no, probably not the
You've been
best
very lucky
squad.
with not too many injuries at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, Jurgen Klopp, he's a fantastic manager. Like, him and Pep Guardiola are the two of the best managers in the world.
100%.
Klopp is staying at least till 2022. So, till 2022, I see Liverpool staying up there with City.
Like, obviously, who do you think can compete with you other than City? We know City are going to be. Do you think anyone else can burst into that bubble?
I mean, currently there's a lot of teams up there, but I wouldn't say any are close right now. You give a couple seasons to Chelsea, United, Tottenham, maybe, then they could push in. But
Definitely Tottenham.
currently right now, it's just going to be them two.
Well, yeah, we'll wrap that one up. Tell us what you think about Liverpool and if they can go any further than they are now, if they get better, or do you think they're going to get worse? And please like and subscribe. So see you again, guys.
For Boys Life.